Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we're looking at the UFC 262 picks for Draftkings in this video. Just bringing back the OG days of when I used to record on my phone. I used to do this every day, like a year and a half ago. But just to be touching on DK in this video, FanDuel picks are similar. Whatever fighters that I do like are playable on FanDuel as well. But Draftkings has a lot bigger tournaments tonight, so we'll be focusing on them. Let's go ahead and get right into it. As always, appreciate if you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you have not already. You can follow me on Twitter at the DFS Process and check out the website if you want to join dfsprocess.net. So looking at all this, we have a ton of good fights tonight, especially late. The early fights here, a couple of ones that we can mention that I do like. I mean, Mazany, she's $9,300. She's a minus 210 favorite against Kashihara. She should get the win pretty easily. $9,300 is a high price tag to pay for any fighter, especially a fighter that can get you takedowns, but she's not a girl that's just going to go out there and get you like 7 significant strikes landed per minute. Hopefully she can get like a first round victory, and that kind of helps her DraftKings score. And then you have Antonia Shevchenko, $9,200 against Lee. Her fight is looking a bit closer, minus 120 to plus $100. So Mazany is definitely the safer fighter if you wanted to pay up. I would say Andrea Lee has a chance to pull off a small upset here just because she gives you a 2-inch reach advantage. She is a lot aggressive on the significant strikes, 5.58. She goes for some takedowns. So I would expect that fight to be a lot closer. And you can get to Lee at a very nice price tag of just $7,000. She makes sense if you need a cheap fighter. So at the top end, it is Mazany over Shevchenko for me. And then we have Yagios at $9,100 against Soriano. This fight, I would lean to Yagios, but I would say that 91 is also a high price tag. Soriano has a chance to get the job done. He is checking in at a plus 180 underdog. He gives you opportunities to get you takedowns. He's actually better with the significant strikes landed. I would like to go to Lee over Soriano if I had to pick a cheap fighter. And then in terms of pay-ups that I really like on this slate, it has to be Charles Oliveira's $8,700. I mean, this fight you can attack both sides of this fight if you wanted to on the same lineup. Just because Chandler's $7,500 main event fight, if it happens to go the distance, both fighters should return value pretty easily. $7,500 to $8,700. And Oliveira's been looking great. Both fighters have been looking awesome recently. I love the way Oliveira's looked against Ferguson. He had a chance to get the submission win, and that one, Ferguson somehow survived a armbar at the end of the first round, and then he just took a lot of ground and pound. He was in no danger that entire fight. He dominated from start to finish. And this one, I mean, Chandler is a lot younger, should be a lot closer of a fight. And looking at their just stats here, you have Chandler has the advantage in significant strikes. Both fighters are very good similar with their defense. Both fighters are good with the takedowns, 2.5 for both of them around. And both fighters are on a roll. You got 8-0 combined for these fighters in the most recent fights. You can go with Chandler if you're feeling him. Just my gut tells me that Oliveira is going to continue his rise, and he's just looked almost unstoppable, especially on the ground. And then you have Ferguson against Dariush. Ferguson is coming off 2 losses in a row against Oliveira, and then he lost against Justin Gaethje. Dariush is 5-0. He's been on a roll. He's actually won his last 6 fights. He gives you big upsides with the knockouts, submissions. He seems to be people looking at the betting market. He is a minus 160 favorite. Ferguson has starting to get some love, and his odds have come down a bit. Ferguson is only $7,600. I would go with Ferguson today over Dariush just because I'm feeling Ferguson is going to bounce back after a couple of tough fights. He's been so good his entire career. I don't think he wants to end his UFC career on a downwards note. He still has a couple good years maybe left in him, but he has to start with the win today against Dariush. Otherwise, he is just absolutely falling off the division. Hopefully he gets the job done. I will definitely be rooting for him, and I think he can just because he's better. 5.46 compared to 4.4 significant strikes. If he can just manage not to get taken down, he should have some advantages on the feet just because he gives you a 4.5-inch reach advantage and also height advantage. Not that plays a big part, but really like Ferguson as a value play at only $7,600. And then other fights that I do want to get to here. Another fighter that I like is Mike Grundy. He's $8,200. I like him in this one just because he is pretty affordable. He's a small favorite, minus 120. He's a guy that will go for takedowns. He has 4.25 averages takedowns per fight. He's not gonna get you a bunch of significant strikes, but if he gets you 4 or 5 takedowns, it's gonna be able to hit value if he gets the win here. He's a guy that can go for some submissions, and he's facing off against a similar fighter in terms of height, and 5'9" against 5'7" for Grundy. Both fighters are Vatana has a better significant strikes for him, but he doesn't do a lot of damage on the ground. He's not going for takedowns. So I feel like if Grundy's able to take him down, control some time on the mat, he should be able to get some points with the judges that way. And looking at the records here recently, Grundy is 1-1 in his last 2 fights, and then we have 2-1 for Vatana in his last 5 fights. Hopefully, Grundy does a better job. He's better with the defense. He absorbs less strikes per minute. I'd say everything looks pretty better for him. I do like the fact that he's favored, but I think it probably should be a little bit better than minus 120. So he's a guy that I feel good about. Still leaves you with $8,500 left. And then we have a bunch of close fights on this card. A couple of other ones that are close are Jordan Wright against Jamie Pickett. Both fighters are minus 110. We have 11 wins for both of these fighters. I would lean to Jordan Wright to get the win here, but I would say it's going to be a close one. See how their salaries differ. They're both $8,100. So I lean to Wright, but I don't want to pay 81 in a pick 'em unless you're playing some tournaments. And then we have Kuchakin against Araharjo. Probably said that wrong, but I would lean to probably Kuchakin, although I think this fight will be close. She's minus 135 favorite. Viviana is a lot better with the takedowns, something that Kuchakin does very often. She's mainly going to try to keep the fight on her feet. She's been 3-2 in her last 5 fights, and he's been 4-1 for her. Vivi, I think it's going to be a close one. You can lean to Arjo if you wanted to go to a cheap fighter here. Do have a lot of already cheap fighters. I don't think I want to pay 88 for Kuchakin, but I don't know if I want to pay 74 for Arjo either. But that is mainly it for this DraftKings video. Ferguson, Grundy, Oliveira are the core pieces. Probably mix in another fighter up here like we'll see. Maybe, I forgot to mention Shane Burgos against Edson Barbosa. That fight's going to be fun. We got 2 fighters here, pretty different in skill set. Burgos is going to come out there and absolutely just try to dominate in terms of just racking up those significant strikes. 7.31 for him landed per minute, just 3.98 for Barbosa. I love Burgos. Again, I'm going to plug him in as the last guy. I love Burgos today. He's a minus 150 favorite. I think it should be higher. Barbosa is very damaged. Has a chance to do a lot of damage with his leg kicks. But I would say I still lean to Burgos. He's super